You don't want to get it wrong, especially this time of year.
Every job has its pressures. Ours just happened to be barometric. Weather Center AM, this morning and every morning.
In the next half hour, Weather Center PM, a comprehensive national forecast. At 40 after, Weather Center PM continues with highway and air travel conditions. Then the weekend outlook. And at 50 after, Storm Watch. But right now, it's your local forecast on the Weather Channel.
Spring is officially here, but you would not know it looking at the Northeast. Good evening and welcome to Weather Center. I'm Christina Abernathy.
And I'm Sharon Resulton. The Northeast is not the place to be if you are ready for spring, but if you love winter, it's the cat's meow. Let's show you some scenes here. The snow has come down all day in Lake Placid, New York. Today's snow was heavy at times. 5 inches fell between 1 and 2 this afternoon. More is on the way, and off and on snow is going to continue right on into the morning. You can expect more than a foot before all is said and done, at least in that region. Other areas will not see quite that much snowfall, and we'll show you where we think the heaviest snow will fall in just a moment. Well, let's get into some of the mechanics with this system, and I'll put the satellite into motion. We have an area of low pressure centered right about in here. The counterclockwise flow around that low is drawing in quite a bit of moisture, and so you're seeing it in and around Boston. It's coming down as a mix of rain and snow at this hour. Into New York City, a little light drizzle. You're kind of in a little area where things are drying out a bit, but we'll see more of that sleet and maybe some snow mixing on in as we head into the overnight, and especially toward dawn as some colder air works on in. Out into central portions of New York, you see that? That's where we've got some enhanced snow. We are seeing some moderate snow in and around Binghamton. But the key is that we are going to find some heavier snows as this low begins to lift on up. There will be some bands of heavier snow. We do think some areas may actually top out around the foot marker for snowfall. Other areas that are seeing that mixture, i.e. on into parts of southern New England, will not see as much accumulation, if any, of snowfall, because that changeover is going to come much later, maybe late in the wee hours of the morning or even toward dawn, for instance, around New York City. But the key is, if you are traveling any of these interstates, you're going to find changeable weather. It's going to vary, and you need to be prepared for that. So plan on some extra travel time. For instance, if you were going up Interstate 87 out of New York City, you'll probably run into some rain, then mixing with sleet, then snow. And you need to be prepared for that. And don't forget, some of the areas seeing liquid precipitation eventually are going to be changing over, and there could be a glaze of ice underneath. So big mess here in the Northeast, and you just need to kind of take it slow or even stay put for the night if you can. Into Binghamton, I mentioned some heavier snow, moderate snow here. Traveling up I-81 towards Syracuse, we watched those visibilities dropping as well, back up to around a mile in Syracuse, but still you're going to find some accumulating snow across this region. You can zoom in a little closer here, in and around Binghamton, on up towards Syracuse, some of the darker green indicating the more significant snow. So areas like Cortland, New York, and also heading out toward Elmira, you're going to find reduced visibilities and trickier travel. Tricky here along I-17, running parallel to the border of New York and Pennsylvania. There's the swath of snow I was talking about. Anywhere from 6 to 12 inches may fall in that area of gray, from the Poconos, extending on into the Catskills, the Berkshires of Massachusetts, and extending along coastal areas, even around Portland, Maine, and into the Green and White Mountains in the Adirondacks as we go on further northward. So the ski resorts, I'm sure, are going to be loving this, but it's really rotten if you've got a lot of traveling to do. Temperature is pretty borderline over much of the Northeast, not too terribly cold, and that's why we're seeing some of the snow mixing at times with sleet or rain. But when you factor in the winds, we do have some pretty nasty wind chills, and now below 0 is what it feels like in Bangor, 2 in Boston, and 12 heading into New York City. Cold, too, into the southeast. Temperature here in Atlanta, well, it hasn't changed very much from what we had this afternoon. Well, there's a thermometer. It's reading right around 40 degrees, the official high around 39 in Atlanta. And folks were either making the best of it, like these kids out and about playing soccer, or they were bundled up literally from head to toe. I guess the key was you had to keep moving to stay warm. All right, that's a look at the southeast. Temperatures, by the way, in this neck of the woods, a good 15 to 20 degrees cooler than you would expect for this time of the year. Hard to believe it's the first full day of spring, unless of course you're looking out west. There it was a little more mild, and Christina has word on that. Well, that's right, a pretty quiet day for most of the western U.S. One exception was in the northwest, where it was a chilly and wet day in the City of Roses, Portland, Oregon. Rain fell off and on, and temperatures peaked in the 50s. Tonight's low will be in the 40s. Tomorrow there will be more rain. The good news is you may get close to 60 degrees, so there's some consolation, but it's still going to be a bit on the soggy side. A look at the satellite view gives us an idea of what we're dealing with here, and plenty of moisture moving in here to northern California and into Oregon. And we're also seeing some of that in western Washington too as this front moves in. That is bringing you plenty of wet weather, and we have another system that's going to be moving in, another sort of disturbance that's going to bring even more rain to northern California and southern Oregon for your Sunday. Right now, rain from Seattle to Portland, back to North Bend, around the Dalles. Soggy weather for you. You'll be in and out of the rain along I-5 here. And again, that extends on up to Seattle, so take the umbrella as you head out. You are going to need it not only tonight, but it looks like tomorrow you'll at least have the chance for showers here. Another area getting the rain, northern California. Now, most of the rain is north of the San Francisco area, although we have had some showers in Sacramento. The steadier rain is to your north right now. Also to the north, we'll be getting a bit of snow. No terribly impressive amounts are expected here, generally less than 3 inches through the Cascades and the Bitterroots. With more in our forecast, here's Sharon. Well, again, let's get into